Hello, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and MPD by somebody that has both. If you find the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button and any other button you feel like pushing, because nobody can tell you what buttons to push. So today, I'd like to talk about being a highly sensitive person. It's something that up to about 20% of us live with. I don't know if this is any way linked to BPD or MPD or ADHD or any other PDs or Ds or what else. And apparently this is something that there's been remarkably little research done on, because it's very difficult to research. And there's probably no money in it, because that's really how research works. And so we just have a bit of guidance that we can find on the internet and that kind of thing. I'll go into more detail. So let's do the quiz that we have here. Are you easily overwhelmed by such things as bright lights, strong smells, coarse fabrics, or sirens nearby? Do you get rattled when you have a lot to do in a short amount of time? Do you make a point of avoiding violent movies and TV shows? Do you need to withdraw during busy days into bed or a darkened room or some other place where you can have privacy and relief from the situation? Do you make it a high priority to arrange your life to avoid upsetting or overwhelming situations? Do you notice or enjoy delicate or fine scents, tastes, sounds, or works of art? Do you have a rich and complex inner life? When you were a child, did your parents or teachers see you as sensitive or shy? Are you troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night? Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic? All of these questions sort of relate to how you might be a highly sensitive person. I'll tell you how it plays out for me. There's a few things. This breaks down into physical sensation and emotional sensation. Do you have emotional sense? There's an emotional and a physical component to this. Bear with me. I'm a clueless idiot on the internet that doesn't really know what he's talking about. I have one or two of each, which is odd to deal with, but okay. So we talk about things like bright light, strong smells, coarse fabrics, that kind of thing. Feeling very sensitive to things on or near your body. And I've heard from people who have this to an overwhelming degree. Like, they're aware of their clothes on their body at all times and what those fabrics feel like and that kind of thing. And they can't even wear things that are made out of particular fabrics and stuff. I don't have anything like that bad. I get to wear what I want, which is very lucky. Where I have it on a physical level is with taste sensation. And linked to that is a smell thing as well. There are foods that I am horrified by, terrified by. Like, if I had somebody pointing a loaded gun at me, trying to keep me under control, subdued in some way, sit there while I point this gun at you, and another person doing the same thing but pointing a banana at me, I would fight the person with the gun. Because at least then I'm thinking, maybe I can grab the gun and point it somewhere else. Whereas with banana guy, I'm thinking, I can't touch that. I don't want that. Can't contemplate the idea of touching that and having that. I'd rather be shot. There. The two things, one, oh, yeah. I'd rather be shot than touch a banana. Or fruit in general, for me, is a serious problem. It's not a health food issue. My entire life, people have had a go at me like, you don't like healthy food. You're just against being healthy. That's not true in the slightest. I have nothing against being healthy. I quite like it. And if healthy food wasn't fruit, I would eat more of that. Probably. That's probably a lie as well. But fruit, and there's something about the whole experience of eating fruit. All of it. the touch, feel, texture of a piece of fruit, the idea of putting it in your mouth and biting it, that actual sensation is what is abhorrent to me. The sound it makes, the smell, everything. It's not in any way linked to the taste of the fruit. I can eat other things that taste like fruit. I can eat fruit-flavored sweets and things like that. Banana flavor isn't bad to me. Strawberry flavor's great. All of these things. I've even been known to eat apple-flavored things. All fine. Because it's not the actual thing. It's not that sensation of biting into an apple and having to hear the noise of it. And it goes as far as including other people in this if I'm too close to it. I cannot stand being in the room with somebody eating a piece of fruit. It bothers me greatly because it's a social experience, right? You don't subtly sit and eat an apple on your own. You might think you do. You might be doing the whole, well, I'm eating my apple thing. But that's not what happens because the rest of us have to sit there and listen to you eat that. We have to hear you crunching away and mushing it round in your mouth and making slurping noises. And we have to smell it from across the room and we have to smell it for the next hour. And we have to sit where people are close to you and they're getting sprayed with shit that's coming out of your mouth and this thing that you're eating. And everything about it is vile to me. Everything about it is gross. Right down to the fact that it's a foodstuff that is not in any way packaged. It's just a thing and you pick it up and eat it. And where has that been? Has someone else picked that up before? Has it been on the floor? You just picked it up and ate it. And I'm sorry, but rubbing it on your jumper doesn't make any difference. And the same applies to oranges and bananas. Anything with a peel is gross. I don't know what made me this way. I didn't have a horrible incident with a banana in my youth. That there wasn't something that happened. I've just, one day this switch was flipped and now all these things bother me. The other thing is that the other sensory input is loud noise, which is a little more confusing and a little less sensical in that it's only some loud noises. And you can shut me down completely with loud noise, like to a point of dysfunction. Things like, let's see, I have recently learned that extremely loud dog barks are apparently on the list. And unfortunately, so has my dog learned this, so he's good at getting what he wants, just so he shuts up. We've come to an agreement on that one. But also loud music that I hate. Now, I know, right? Who wants to listen to music that you hate? I get that part of it, in the same way that who wants to eat food you don't like. But the reaction, the physical reaction, is far more than just being forced to listen to music I don't like. I can hear music I don't like and go, well, that's shit. That's easy enough, that's fine. But if it's loud enough, then this can just shut me down into a curling up in a ball. Can't really think this. It's like being punched in the head repeatedly. That's the same effect. And if a lot of dance music, a lot of electronic music, a lot of club music, all kinds of things shut me down completely. If it's my own music, if it's music I like, pump it up. That's fine. That can go as loud as possible. I'm absolutely fine with that. If it's an instrument I'm playing, I'm absolutely fine with that. I have spent my childhood with a drummer's crash cymbal just here, and that's fine. Little bit deaf in my right ear a little bit because of that, but that's okay, because that was my thing that I was doing. That was something I wanted to hear, and so loudness in that sense wasn't too much to take. But if it's a volume of something I don't like, the physical reaction to it comes from nowhere and is extreme and just It's a shutdown. And then the music moves us on to sort of the emotional responses for it. Because not only can you play something loud and make me into this little curled up ball on the sofa, you can play something remotely sad and absolutely destroy me. Like, really, it's the bar for qualifying as sad is, I don't know, at this point it's like there's a couple of minor chords in there. It doesn't necessarily have to be a sad song or something like that. This came out of me, first of all, when I was sort of between the ages of 1 and 3. There is a famous story in my family. There used to be a TV show for kids called The Munch Bunch. It was lots of little anthropomorphic vegetables and things. And they lived in a garden all together and had adventures. And there was a TV show and there were books. And I had all the books, unlike the TV show. And my parents bought the theme song to this show on record to play for me as a child. And I could get so far before just bawling. Every time, put this on. This is the Make Richard Cry album, right? It's not really the Munch Bunch theme. It's the Make Richard Cry album. Because you get about 15 seconds into it, bawling. And it's a jaunty, happy little kids' TV show theme song. The theme tune to the Munch Bunch is not a sad song, right? It's really not. It's about a talking carrot and other vegetables. It's one of the least sad things one might hope to come across. But I went and found it. And I always remembered this. This is an early childhood memory, being made sad by the Munch Bunch theme song. I remember this very clearly. And I went back to listen to the bit that I knew was the part that made me cry. And over the last sort of 40 years, God, that's a big number. The memory of that piece of music has warped and changed slightly. The memory of the opening credit sequence to that show has changed slightly. And I went back and watched it and figured out that this bit about 15-20 seconds in just goes into a slightly minor section musically. Just a couple of bars. Nothing particularly dramatic. It's musically correct. It's musically sound. It's a decent kids' TV show theme song. But just that little bit, those couple of bars of minor chords, was enough to break Baby Rich. I'm not quite that sensitive to things now, but the right piece of music or the wrong piece of music can still emotionally destroy me. And I mean, just stop everything. Doesn't matter what mood I'm in, doesn't matter what I'm doing, doesn't matter who I'm with, doesn't matter where I'm going to or where I've been, nothing matters. This song is like an audible blanket of sadness. And they just come wafting over and wrap me up and take me away with them and absolutely destroy me. This is why I wear headphones when I go to Asda, because they are bastards for it. And it just needs to be any song. And over the last year, I've become particularly sensitive to sad songs about breakups and things like that. And if I don't wear headphones when I go to Asda, something will be played over the store radio that makes me cry. And you don't want to walk around Asda shopping and crying. for no reason, just because of the song that's being played over the radio in the store. It's quite debilitating in that sense. And so a good pair of noise cancelling headphones and some loud music really, really helps. It makes me feel a bit like Baby Driver at some point, but so be it. Highly sensitive person. Don't know what you do about that. Nobody knows what you do about that. You just try and avoid things. It's easy for me to not eat fruit. I can do that. It's easy for me to bung headphones in. It's has become a point of argument in the past when you sort of, you know, when I've lost control of my car stereo, so to speak, to friends or something like that, the number of times I have to no, we're skipping this track. Why? It's a great song. Yeah, it is a great song. But if you don't want to drive along with me crying as I'm doing it, then we need to skip this track. It's a pain. It really is. And I'm glad it hasn't gone further for me. And I have a great deal of sympathy for those who suffer from it more than I do. Because it's difficult enough. I don't have a visual thing. There's not anything that I'm particularly, or that I'm aware of. I mean, those questions asked about avoiding violent movies and TV shows. I'm fine with violent movies and TV shows. I enjoy a good horror film. I enjoy lots of violent things. That's fine. Video games don't do anything to it. It's all an emotional thing for me. You can just plug into a sad emotion and just get it playing. So I really hope that you aren't any worse than me, because this is bad enough and a pain in the arse. It's honestly crying when you don't want to, when you're not actually genuinely sad about it, when you know what stupid thing is making you feel like that, is so frustrating. It's so annoying and just really pisses me off. But there you go. It's just another thing to live with, isn't it? And I don't have to listen to sad music. I should do a playlist for everybody, right? Music to not kill yourself by. Music to feel happy too. Works for me, and that's the best I've got to offer you, I'm afraid. So I'll leave it there then. You guys take care. I'll see you later. Bye.